In just a week, houses all over the world will be welcoming trick-or-treaters.
And though kids are excited for the big day, there's a few things we need to keep in mind when it comes to making sure our furry friends are having a good time too.
And when we're looking for answers on how to make sure we're taking care of our pets, that's when we turn to Dr. Mike Hutchinson. Dr. Mike, thanks so much for being with us today.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Hello, Dr. Mike.
So we want to start first with pumpkins because this starts in September. We start to see all the pumpkins out, and you've been getting quite a few questions about this in particular.
Yeah, so dogs like pumpkin. I mean, cats like pumpkin too, but they're less likely to get into the real pumpkin. And so we just have to be careful. Pumpkin itself is safe, so are the seeds are safe for dogs. The problem is if they get into too much or if that pumpkin gets moldy, then it can cause disease, and we want to be careful because that would make them very sick. The wild animals love the pumpkins. I always tell people just watch out for the dangers. If there's a candle in there or even those glow sticks, dogs are curious. They like pumpkins, so you have to be careful. There's a fire hazard there.
And I think that we actually have a picture to share. You said the squirrels got into a pumpkin, and there's Grizzly, your dog, standing right behind.
Yeah, that's Grizzly. The squirrels got into that pumpkin. That's dirt on it. That's not mold, but but you can see how they could get moldy, and that would be dangerous. But the squirrels feasted on that. They took our corn from the corn stalks too, which is kind of funny.
Oh,
and we break some for the deer out. I live out in the woods, so the deer like the pumpkin too, but so do dogs.
So do dogs. Yeah, and I know you've actually recommended pumpkin before for sick animals, so it's something that you should keep in stock anyways.
Yeah, canned pumpkin's really good because it's high in soluble fiber, which is really good for diarrhea and constipation on both sides of it because it retains moisture.
Good to know.
When it comes to Halloween night, Dr. Mike, it's hectic for the animals. Right. Kids are coming up, knocking, ringing the doorbell. So how do you keep the pets calm that night?
I just tell everybody, keep them in an inside room because even though I have friendly dogs, they're curious and they might jump up on a child, and the children might be afraid of pets. So it's incumbent upon us to protect those children, keep them in an inside room, put some music on, or maybe somebody can stay with them. But I don't recommend that you let them introduce or see the trick-or-treaters because I know children that are extremely afraid of pets, and that's not always a good idea. Even though we know our pet's friendly, that child may be scared of it. And then the costumes can be scary too. So I always tell people, keep ID on your dog in case they do get out that door so that they are identified, but try to keep them in an inside room and away from the trick-or-treaters.
I know at our house, it's just the constant barking. So keeping them away from that, because the barking can scare kids. They don't know if your dog is friendly or doing it in a friendly manner. Let's ask this next question because we actually received this from a viewer. I think we should get to it. Diana and Joe in Evans City want to know what to do if their cat doesn't meow. Is that a problem?
No, it's not really a problem. I mean, as long as it can purr. Some people get afraid when dogs don't bark or cats don't meow. No, that's not necessarily a problem. Now, if you have a meowing cat or a barking dog and all of a sudden they can't, that may be a physical problem or that you want to have checked out by a veterinarian. But if you happen to adopt a cat and doesn't meow a lot, I'm not really concerned about that as long as they're eating and drinking and everything else is good. Hey, that purr is a healing frequency, so if they're purring, I'm happy.
I like that too, Dr. Mike. Now, what if you want to take the kids trick-or-treating and take the pets with the kids? Is that something that is okay to do?
I guess for the individual dogs, you can do that. There are certain individual dogs that are therapy dogs or service dogs. They're wonderful around people and children. But be careful if you're putting costumes on them. Some dogs don't like costumes. Make sure they're not constrictive so that you're not cutting off airway or making them uncomfortable. And I always say their birthday suit's usually the best suit when you go on trick-or-treat with a pet. And so use good judgment.
Good advice. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, Dr. Mike.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
That's Dr. Mike Hutchinson of Animal General in Cranberry. He's a regular PTL contributor, and you could also hear him on his podcast, and he's on KDKA Radio.